we're going through the entire video. Okay, let me just quickly see. Okay. So what we did was we were looking at ways to bring things together. So in fact, yeah, I should say that the last week you didn't miss a lot because we had a large part of our time spent in talking to Darius, who was here. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of things we missed. I'm just looking at what. So what we did was, I think we created this. We wanted to have the X, or if we want to talk about a linear model as y is equal to f of x. So we were able to sit down and put all the together the x part where we say that we will have the day, snap events, and the month. Because month we considered that it is important since the month of the year could influence what type of purchase people do. If there will be more food bought different point, because we think that it is possible that one of the food categories might be tinned food versus another one is fresh food, which means depending upon the month we might have a change. So yeah, this is where we were stopping. So I think we stopped by saying that we probably want to increase the want to change the way month is considered, because month it goes from 1 to 12, but we thought it's better if the month goes in a circular fashion, because January and December are supposedly next, or should be next to each other, should not be away from each other. So that is what we were looking at how to do it, and so we will do that today, I guess, and then we will perhaps consolidate all the independent variables for this machine learning problem. Is that a good summary, Shiva?
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, so the only thing I think if we scroll up, the one thing which we saw also was that I think we tried the transpose.
Yeah.
The transpose was a pretty good one.
Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
I will just. Yeah, transpose. Yes.
Did it work? Somewhere here. Yeah. So we found that this transpose method actually just flips our columns and rows.
So the columns were like this, the D1, D2 like this, like this, the rows. So we essentially did this transpose and it flipped.
So the advantage here is then we could kind of categorize it a little easier. So we could, because if food, for example, you see here, right, we were trying to do things like with food and category and things like that. It became much easier once we start dealing with it in terms of, it's just that sometimes it's easier to have day in the row and sometimes it's easier to have day in the column. So when you want to flip back and forth between these two, we found the transpose function really cool. So it's like this. It's like the pivot table. Pivot table also helped a lot.
So a couple of small things we had to do was, I think, to remove some. When we added the months, we had to remove the extra days that were there. But yeah. So and when we synchronize the days, month, the index X, etc., they are not important. They are just, I would say, basic manipulations. So right now we have this. This is now the X for us, so to speak. We have still not added the selling prices. that we will do, because that is dependent on, we have to decide how we compute the selling prices. Perhaps we will put together all the items, or perhaps as we were discussing, we might actually consider different items, etc. So this we'll probably discuss. But Shiva, you want to start with this month circular decoding?
Yeah, so basically like what Krishnan was saying was that this month, it would be nice if we adjust it such that 1 and, I mean, is the month from 1 to 12 or is it from 0 to 11? Can you just
It's
check?
1 to 12, I think 1 to 12.
You can just do month min and month max.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 to 12.
Okay, so basically we would like it such that 1 and 12 are next to each other, right? So what we are going to do, what we're thinking is we'll turn it into a cos function, right? And we'll map it such that 12 becomes like 180 degrees, right? That's what we were thinking. So basically what we have to do is we have to multiply the month by pi and divide it by 12. So 12 corresponds to pi and something else, everything else will correspond to some other number.
So,
or is it pi or 2 pi? It will be 2 pi, I guess.
yeah, it's 2 pi.
Yeah, okay, 2 pi.
So 2 pi is equal to 12.
Yeah.
So we will have then we will have to say that any value will be like 12 by 2 into pi.
I mean, this is like the school arithmetic. It's like this. If 2 pi is equal to 12 or if 12 is equal to 2 pi, then how much is some number x? That is basically x into 2 pi divided by 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if we'll get something like this.
Yeah.
X into 2 pi by 12. And so we can say, for instance, we can try this. We can do an encoding of this, let's say for this.
Yeah.
Lambda function where we say x and then x into 2 pi.
You will have to do a np.cos.
Sorry. So you want to say
np.cos and again np.pi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will try this without doing. And just see what. It's going between minus something and.
Actually, what I would suggest is that you can sort of create it as another column and then we can plot these and see how it works.
Okay. No, we can now this one plot this directly.
Okay, you can do that.
What will be the x will be.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We just want like it as long as it's like between 0 and 1. Oh no, pi math. You think you have to import it?
For now, until now we haven't done it.
Okay, we didn't plot at all, yeah.
So this is.
I mean, as long as it looks like a sinusoid, that's all we need, That's it.
Yeah. So I just wanted to see if I think I just plot it like this.
I don't know. Do you think it's worth? No, okay. Because now it won't make much sense because there's like a 12.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see because
it's an interesting shape actually.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if it will plot, but it's not.
No. Wait. This is nice. See, you see here, we plotted the x-axis 1 to 12, right? And look at the y-axis. The y-axis between 1 and minus 1. So you see, where it is 1 and where it is 12, they are very next to each other. So yeah, actually this is a nice plot. So don't delete it. Let it be. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Because right now, what is it? So I'll add it in another month. I mean, I'll probably. So okay, in X in a variable X, we will put month this one instead of.
Yeah.
So we will have to when we do a we will have to do a inverse of it. So for that, what do we do is I think let's say this we will have to. Series doesn't have apply.
I don't think so. But what do you want to do? You want to
No, just to do an inversion and see if it works properly. That is np dot. I would say I want to get back the month. This is maybe what cos.
That's the thing. Then it's like I think they're okay. This plot is pretty clear.
Yeah. No, but do you think we will need to get back the months at any point in time?
No, we can store it. We just create another column.
Yeah. That's
okay. The only thing I'm thinking, only one thing I'm thinking. Do you think we should make it all positive, like add 0.5 and or add 1 and push it all above?
That is what I was thinking, because if we let it like this, then but if you are going to do a simple linear model, I don't think it will.
Why is there any reason for using cos function rather than sin function?
Oh, you can do that also. Sin is also fine. We just want something that goes around.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Sin will come positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will try. No, sin also goes to negative force. Because you see that, and anyway, this one and this one are close to each other.
Yeah.
That's what is important. So for us, that is satisfied. In fact, it might even be possible to have exponential will work.
Exponential.
EXP exists.
No, but no, why? Exponential just get worse, right?
No, I'm sorry. It's not exponential. I wanted to say essentially, I was just looking at the Euler's formula. E power I theta is equal to cos theta.
But that's the thing. Yeah, then it's okay. Yeah, then the third exponent, because then you need a complex exponent.
Yeah. That's maybe I don't know how to do that. Maybe we'll see if there's Anyway, so that's not a good idea. So we mean sine or cos, because cos because this one the 12 and this one is
no, actually there's one thing I can see is like in both cases you will have some amount of like confusion. For example, if you look, though we have made number 1 in the case of cos, number 1 is close to number 12, right? The other thing is also that now let's say 3 and 9 will be very close, right? Which might be misleading.
Yes.
It might seem like 3 and 9 are exactly next to each other. The only good part is that the main challenge in our case is getting 11, 12 and 1 together. Because 11, 12 and 1 means November, December and January, and these will have a similar pattern.
So I think then sine is better in that sense. Because look, so what is happening is because sine has a fairly unique set of values. You don't have, this is a repetition that is happening. Whereas in sine, you have a positive value until sixth month, and then you go for a negative value.
See, the problem, you know what the problem with sine is? See, like for example, 6 and 12 are very similar. And the problem is, there's not much common between 6 and 12. At least June and December. Of course, both are, you can say, holiday seasons, but...
No, that's true. You're right.
Whereas what I'm thinking is, like, for example, if 3 and 9 are similar, that's okay, because it's spring and fall are like kind of are similar characteristics.
Shiva, just a second. I will just check. There should be a place where this thing exists. Just a second. I'm kind of. I will just check. There was a place where I had stored this because this was a problem, and I wanted to use. Okay, I will search. It was a Stack Overflow question where they were like circular feature or something like that, or time of the day. Because I was working with the time of the day feature. How to now? Circular statistics. This was not statistics. So yeah, this is what they suggest for hour. Like you put something like this. It should not. You see it?
Yeah.
So the question is, hour of the day is. I would be discontinuity between 23 and 4. So how do you do it? So depending upon what you want, hours are actually ordinal cyclic variables. So in case of season, you can consider them to be more or less categorical. Using hours in your model in the form take care of the cyclicity. This is what is our problem. Here it is hour of the day, but cyclicity is what we are also looking for.
Right.
So you can use a trigonometric approach to by hour by 24. This is exactly what we are also doing in our case. But there is also an XR and YR that.
Okay. So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to create another frame of reference. So basically we are changing a single quantity, because it's like this. If let's say we take it as just a number, we are taking it as a projection, neither an x or a y axis, right? So basically the cos is the projection on the x axis if we say that the angle is defined with respect to the x axis, and the sine is the projection on the y axis. Now if we define both of them, we get actually a phasor.
Yes. In fact, I think this is the best way to represent this, because this is where I think we will not have the problem of 6 coming closer to this.
Well, it's just that both will come. So it's like this. We have two of them. It's just that we are taking both into account. So it's like this. We are saying that 6 and 9, or rather 6 and 12 will come close to each other in one case. There might be commonalities there. And in some other cases, 3 and 9 will come close to each other. So basically, there's always going to be a 6-month cycle where it sort of these months get close to each other.
But 1 and 12 will always be close.
Just go back to the sine wave. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is both cases. You see this? It is close to each
Not that close, but it is close. What is close here, if you really look, closeness is 1 near like 5 and 6, 7, that is close, and you will see like 2 and 4 are close.
Oh, why is this strange? Why is it not close? Just wait. Sine.
No, that's just a sine shape, I think. There's nothing like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if we have 2 of them, it might be better because they are still closer, right? Comparatively, I would say. What is this? What will be 12? Will be.
I mean, this is what you actually have to kind of step out of data science once and think about it the other way. Like, for example, if you look at it in terms of months, right? How would you see?
I understand. Shiva, I understand one problem with why sine and even cos is there. We will have to change the months from 0 to 11. because usually if we have 0 here, 0 and 360 are supposed to have the same, okay? Which is not the case. So for instance, if I actually, can I do this -1 directly here? Will it be possible for me to do it?
I think so. You can.
We just check. So you see this is much closer, and if I do this here,
I don't think it's closer. It just has gone to
no,
0.
Just a second, I'm sorry. This should be 11. You see this exact, really exact. See, this is 0, this is 0. Because at the end will be 360, 360, right? So sine 0 is 0, sine 360 is 0.
No, the problem is we have actually made January and December the same. That's not the case. See, we've made January, December the same, and we've made June and July the same.
What do you mean? June and
See, if you look, there's a 6 and 7, there's a flat line.
yeah. No, this will work out. I'm just saying this is how it is. So we can try to work out a little bit here. The idea is to do 12, for instance, significantly changing here. So, 0.5. But yeah, it's not necessary. Yeah, but this one is good though. Cost is good.
Yeah. I would say let's save both of them. We'll figure out what to do.
Okay. So you want to use direct or -1? What do you think? This one is like this, -1, without -1. A sine seems to be, yeah, as you said, sine seems to be not very close for 0. The good thing is it's still not as bad as having 1 and 12, right? Because right now what we have something like 0.5 and 0.2. It's still better than given the range of 2. It's the difference is something like 10%, whereas earlier we had a difference of 100%. So
Okay.
So I think either would be. I mean, the thing is they are slightly better. That's all matters to us, because they are able to more or less do a good job. And I think this is better. For me, cost seems better overall. If at all you want something to be unique, for instance, you can just push it. In the sense that, yeah, I can say that this is +1, for instance. This moves to 7. That is the lowest point comes at number 7th month. So we can actually choose which month. I mean, it looks like that, but it's always the same. So yeah, we can play around with this. We can say, for instance, we can do plus. Let us say, for instance, I want August to be the month where everything starts. So you have now 8 here, and this goes up to 14. But I would say that 13 and 14 are January and February. So we can do some mapping of this sort to create this circular where we can create something that is the farthest from the rest of it. This circular.
Suppose if we add this function segment to the other end, then it will be like it will look very clear than confusing now. I felt that way. Suppose if we take this the value at 3rd month in cost function, and can we add to the next segment like from the 14?
This one?
No, if you see the cost function in line 176.
Yeah.
So now we started at started at 3rd month.
Yes.
and we ended at 14.
Yes.
And can we add one more segment, like one more year?
One more month. Like this, you mean? It starts now at 4.
No, not that way. So just want to add this segment to the next year.
Yeah, it will be like that. Whether so, it's already taken care of. For instance, what is happening is it's going like this. Okay,
Yeah.
40, and it will come to here.
Correct.
So, and then it will go like this. So that is not a problem. So for every year, you have the year starts and it goes like this, and then comes. Then starts
So-
like this.
Suppose if we want to like keep December, January together, like why can't we directly? I might be silly, but like why can't we start from the November itself?
No, see, the thing is this. Yeah, you are right. The thing is this. If we do that, if we start from November, then October and November get put. So you will have the thing is, we have a cycle. And our idea is, can we bring the cycle in the future itself instead of creating a discontinuity? So this is what this guy mentioned. There is a discontinuity between 23 and 0 when it comes to hour of the day, right? And we know that the hours 23 and 0 are next to each other, and we need to ensure our aim is to only put these two together, they're close to each other, not, for instance, just artificially make them close and then make somebody else. So you should not create discontinuity elsewhere when we are plugging the discontinuity. That is the idea. But yeah, it's
Because
not a go on.
Since like we are mainly focusing on these 3 months or 4 months, and if we keep that a few months as a continuity, and the months which are like more or less not important, then we can keep this continuity. Can we do that? Is it like
Yeah, you can definitely do something like that. But the question was, we were trying to see if it's possible to create something without this. Yeah, no, you are right. In fact, the only thing is, we don't know what else new things will create to do that. For instance, it may happen that November, October, it will start giving less importance because suddenly. But I think it's just a matter of, in fact, for instance, this may not matter in some type of products. It may matter a lot in some type of products. For instance, if it is leisure, then you will see a lot, hobbies, you will see a lot during summer vacations and winter vacations. Winter, especially skiing and all that. So, we'll have to see that. But anyway, this may not matter in every case. So maybe, Shiva, maybe what we can do is, we can keep this as an extra parameter. And depending upon which one works, we can check which is better.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, just store everything, because there is no hard and fast rule about what will work. It's just that, for example, if you look at the R thing, right, if you want to see, for example, if we were looking at sales data in a day, right, let's say Amazon sales data in a day, you will see that the pattern between 0 to 24 hours, and let's say over a few days, you'll see it will change. For example, when it's working hours, that is between, let's say, 9 to 6, there'll be a very different type of shopping pattern, right? So before 9 and after 6, when people are at their own homes and are shopping for themselves, there'll be a very different pattern, right? So now, we have to convert that kind of mentality into months. So for example, what we have to see is what is common between months. Now, for example, one thing we absolutely know is that 11, 12 and 1 are similar, right? Because that's a holiday season. People already start buying Christmas trees in November itself. People start buying all kinds of food in early December itself, right? And especially in places like America where people like to hoard, right?
Yeah.
Now, and similarly in things like, for example, if you see May, June, July, of course things will be similar, but then that is expected. right? That would expect even if we had a linear scale. So then what else can we think? For example, if we think in terms of months within sections, right? So for example, if you look within the 1 to 6 section, do you see anything else common, right? Now, in terms of general patterns, what I could see is that from January to like May, as the summer improves, you'll see a gradual change in behavior in terms of people going out, fruits being more available, vegetables being more available, things like that, right? So it's more linear. And the same goes for the last part. So that is from August to December, you will see as the weather decreases or rather it becomes colder, you will see a gradual change in food and other kinds of behavior. People start going more indoors and things like that, right? So if you think about this kind of behavior and you look at the cosine function and the sine function, you'll see that the actual cosine function fits better, right? Whereas the sine function, if you see, it has localized clusters a lot. Like I said, there's a localized, the good part is we still have 1 and 12 not far from each other. But if you see 11 and 11, let's say 1 and 11 are now very far. 2 and 11 are very far. 2 and 4 are close. But 2 and 4 being close doesn't really help that much, right? Because like for example, there's not much common between February and April, really speaking. Because by then it should be a linear progression. Like February, March, April, it's just getting a little warmer. You should see some kind of change in people going out a little, right? So certainly you won't see people doing in March, April what they did in February, unless some other crazy event happened. I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving or Easter. I don't know what people do there. So this is like very domain specific. Here is where you have to just try different things and see what happens.
So let's say then I would say, for example, for those that depend on for food, for example.
Can we add something like to the final output? I mean, instead of like at the end it will come to the same time. So since like now we are going from 1 to -1, can we shift something like by adding and making it like?
You want to move it all above 1 and you can actually move it all above 1 and multiply it by 12. That's also possible. So you can move it to +1 multiplied by 12.
Or just divide by 2 so that you can make everything between 0 and 1. Because at the end we will anyway going to do some normalization.
Right.
So you can do that as well. So let's say +1 and get everything between 0 and 2. And I can then divide. Between 0 and 1. So right now I have added +3, but I don't think that is required. I just put it. So right now it's the month of June that is going. That seems to be the farthest from, but which is fine. I think for us for now this is good enough.
I would say save both as 2 things, and we can even run 2 different ones.
You mean, what do you mean?
No, just save. You can save like a month cos and a month sine as 2 different columns.
Yeah, definitely. So I will do the same thing here. Get this. Yeah. Okay. Then I will just. can just add these as a different. This we'll add as different entries in the column.
Oh yeah. So just like month cost, month sign. Alright, great. So what else is left? Now we have coded, these are irrespective of, what do you call it? Irrespective of the selling prices.
Items.
Yes, items. So that is the selling price of items, selling price. So now what we have to do is, let us suppose we have to segregate now that we have to add, it's like this, how will we propose? It's like this, we have all these sales data. The sales data, that is the amount of items that we have sold, is our Y, right? Because we are saying that all these factors affect how much we sell. So now our X will be this time data plus each and every column of the selling price. And this is, selling price for each, however we decided to go by category, or we decided to, within each category, we are doing it.
We were actually discussing because there was, so the question was, what are we going to predict? That is where it comes. Are we going to predict item-wise sales price or sale number, or category-wise sales price or sale number? So there are 7 categories if I'm not wrong. So, how are we going to do? Because depending upon what kind of strategy that we deploy, our training strategy will also change. We can perhaps start with category-wise, in which case we'll have to sum up all the selling prices. And that is when we came to a point where we said, there might be a problem because at some point in time, the selling prices, some items may not be available for selling, etc. But I think it's fine. We can start there, I guess. Like we say, for instance, there are 7 categories. So, for instance, there are goods 1. So you have, I think this was only. But we thought, let us say we have these food selling prices for each of the items for each of the days. We also did a version of it. So the question was, how do we use this? So now you have these columns. Can we just use this to predict food 1, or do we say predict? For instance, we don't want this foods 2 to predict food 1, because we don't know what the relationships are. So if we do mix all of them, that might happen. So we can take, let's say, this food item or a couple of food items, and then add them as a selling price and predict how they will be sold.
Actually, the idea is this. Basically, what happens is, see, there are 2 ways to do it. We can either create an entire model for one store, right? Like this is a California store. For this California store altogether across categories, right? So that means we have 7 categories. The problem is we have not even 1941. I think we have 1930 or something. How many do we have? 19, or we have 1941.
Yes, we wanted to increase the number of
exactly
data points. For that, now I see what you mean. Yes.
So basically the idea is this, so we have 1941 data points. If we do it for the entire store, then we have 1945 multiplied by 7. right? Because we can do it for each category selling price. We have now a separate data item. Now, we thought maybe that's not enough because 7,000 is not usually enough. Second thing is, we said that within each category, there can be significant differences. So like food and hobbies can have different behavior. So the other possibility we said is that for each, I think you're back.
Shiva, you can hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. I think we lost you for a minute.
Yeah. Is the screen?
Yeah, screen also is visible. Yeah. So basically what I was saying is I think we decided because we said one is that there may not be enough data if we go across categories, only take categories. Second is the behavior within each category may be different. So if you choose one category and create a separate model for it, so we have 7 different models instead of one model, that might be more accurate.
Yeah, Shiva, just a second. I'm just going to say what
Yeah, go ahead.
which we discussed. So the idea was that why we created only foods column was that what we wanted to do was and also you see that only foods one column. So the idea was that you see there are 216 different columns, which means we have 216 different data points. Not data points, 216. So we are going to say that instead of foods 1 as summing it up all, we'll kind of stack them one on top of the other.
Yeah.
So for instance, the idea is, I'll just go down with this. So we have this. So the idea, of course, is to be the transpose. So this is what we will have for each one of them. So we will have to traverse each of them and then add, for instance, we'll add this here and then we'll have to add this bunch all over again and add the second one here. I'm sorry if I made sense. So the idea is something like this. So we have this, and then I'm going to say this will be added, and sorry, let's say and only the foods 1 underscore 001. This will be. So if I want to say let's say this is the MATLAB representation where we have for instance where we have this is a block, this is a block, and this is a block, and this is a block. So if I say that
actually you can just do it once. I'll just tell you, just copy one of them and just add it to one column, then it'll be like much clearer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let me. So it will be. So the idea would be to have another. Okay, I'm going to create a food 1. And this. So here, what I would have now is a selling.
Oh, because the months are different. In one there is 1, 2, 3, in the other is I think D1, D2.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we'll have to.
Anyway, the idea is it will come. That's okay. The idea is if you look here, assume that there was a selling price corresponding to these days. The main thing is what will happen is that we now have this is one x coordinate. Yeah. So this is one x coordinate. We have now basically these are entire thing is one x. This is actually selling price. This is an x coordinate. Corresponding to this, there is the number of items sold. That is the y coordinate. Right? Now, for the next food item, that will come below this, just like the way it is. So you have an entire stacked data frame, one after the other after the other.
So let me just try that then. Let me first put this into a schools. Set index, right? From as we have here 1 2 this range 1 1 4 1. Would that be a good idea?
No, I think you know what that won't do. Because if you look, just have a look at that selling prices once. The reason is, if you look here, see it's D1, D2. Now, if you,
I'm just trying to say that remove this as an index. Some other index I want. So should the set index be based on?
Actually, it should be. Okay, what was the error you got again?
That's right. It asks, okay, set index will take a key. It will not just take anything. So I will just add another column called day.
No, I think if you do a list, you should get list of range index. If you range, you should get.
What do you mean?
If you, I think it wants keys means actual values. Did you do just only a range?
No, list of range.
Oh, interesting.
No, I can show that here. It's 1941, so I'm going to say list of 1, 1941. So it says that here none are missing or in the columns. It's looking for a column in this name. So I would not. So rather, what I'm going to do now is then I don't know how it is, but at least this will work. Day 1.
Actually, you know what? One thing I can do. Yeah, you can actually take this as the index. No, this days is equal to the index instead of doing it like this. Because then you will at least guarantee that if there is a glitch somewhere, you will at least capture that. So instead of saying list range 1 index, you can just say that is the index. No. The first part was right. Days. What you just wrote, the column. Basically, you're creating a column. The column can be set equal to selling price food 1 trans in dot index.
Okay. And then?
No, instead of list range 1, you can say. So basically, the right hand side becomes dot index.
You mean the index of this?
No, whichever, the one below. See, you're actually, so, okay, just I'll see the list, right? List range 1, comma, that you can just delete it.
Yeah.
And instead put selling prices, food, whatever, just copy paste the first part that is on the left hand side.
Okay.
And just dot index.
But why do we need to do this?
No, because then what happens is you are extracting the index as a column.
Yeah, but we don't need it.
No, but then what happens is you can now say that this index you can then add a D1 to it. Or vice versa, like selling prices you can adjust accordingly, and then you have, when you then equate selling prices, you will get all the selling prices for that. So what I'm trying to say is we have to sort of merge our, all our columns have to be the same structure. So either we call day as D1.
All our rows or
all our rows. Basically all our rows have to have the same key. So either we can say D1.
So I'm going to keep 1 to 3 to 1941, which we have in the cal. So I'm going to keep that. So what I was thinking was, let's say I say the index dot index is equal to, let's say, I would say cal PF parts trans 1 dot index. If I do this, I have this.
Okay.
Now if I do this, for example, it should work.
Okay. Now in this case it's probably okay, in this case, because the reason is that this one has adjusted everything in serial order. Alright. Now the problem is, if for some reason the data was a bit messed up and there were some glitches, this would not work.
Well, I don't actually understand.
So it's like this. Basically what happens is, when you're setting the index of one and the other, right? Sometimes, set index is a very brute force method. That is, it will not adjust your rows. It just brute force overwrites your index.
Yeah.
So what will happen is the indexes are copied one to one with respect to another index or another column. Now, you are copying the index from another data frame to this data frame. Now, if for some reason that other data frame was slightly different in sequence, this one will just overwrite it. It won't think. It will just overwrite it. And the problem is, now your prices might be messed up because those prices were corresponding to something else. So when you do this, unless you're sure, in this case it probably is okay, but do not do this with any other random data frame.
Yeah, I see. So, I mean, unless we are sure that there is an index matching. So, in this case, we knew that the index matching was happening.
So, what is the right way to do this? The right way to do this is, whichever column, whichever you are trying to change first, take that index out as a column, adjust the index. Now, adjust that column and then set it back as the index.
Yes. So, something like, okay, let's do that once. See. So you mean to say that I will say days, then dot index, and then I will do an apply.
Exactly.
Dot apply, and then say lambda function. And I would say, for instance, whatever you have, you take the str. So x dot split by underscore, and then you take the second value and then pass the integer value of that, and days.
What is days? Is it an integer? Yeah, already, that's the thing. That's already changed.
Okay, let me just go back. And
No, I think now it's okay. It's okay. It's just for your...
No, this one is there.
Okay.
It's okay. It's just, I'm going to just show it. Now, you see this 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you want this to be applied as the index for this.
Yeah, right? So then you can say set index. No, it won't. Yeah, you have to say set index.
Set index. And then
and it's best that you set it as an index. When you say set index, you should do shift tab within set index.
Yeah. It says keys here.
So key, the best way is you're setting the key as a column. So now what happens is it usually adjusts everything. It just like it uses some intelligence and makes sure that you have some kind of mapping.
Yeah. I'm just going to check what is there in this. So it is okay. It's like this, and then you have applied this and you have changed it, and the set index. I'm going to just do this. Yeah. So I think I have to do a in place is equal. Now I should see. Yeah. Oops. Sorry.
I think you sort of just check your data frame. Something is sort of.
I think apply.
No, you have to equate it because you have applied it, but you've not equated that to another column.
Yeah. Sorry. Oops. Okay. I changed it. Okay. I'll go from here. Okay. Now it's fine. So
Yeah.
what I did was because I had changed the days column, it no more had it.
Mhm.
But anyway, now it is. So the idea is now we have the columns proper.
Yeah.
I mean the indexes that are proper. And now we should go back here and then do this.
So what will be interesting next is that if we want to automate this process, right, we'll have to do some continuous transpose and jugglery. Because what will happen is, it's easy to extract the selling prices if we actually flip it. Right? Because if you take the food item, if you do a transpose of this and we get foods on the x-axis, we can iterate through each row, extract that, rotate it again, that is again pivot it, and add them as separate, NumPy arrays. So anyway, this will be tricky, because what will happen is,
Do you think you can't, for instance, I can't add, let us say, for instance, let's say I'm going to start, let's say I would say x underscore food. I would start with this.
No, that's not a good method. That's the thing. I know, because the problem, what that is, that it becomes iterative over this. You have to iterate over each and every column in your data frame. Now that is a very, very brute force method, because now what happens, you have to actually extract the columns and search through them. Now if you flip it, if you pivot it rather, or transpose it, all these become rows. And a row can be extracted as just .iloc.
Yes, okay.
So then we extract it as an iloc and again transpose it and then push it into the data frame.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So it will be like a couple of times back and forth. So that's it.
So it will be some form of a for loop where we'll do all these.
Exactly. Okay, I think we're almost out of time. Just anything from Harish before we exit?
Yeah, nothing in which can I do some changes. Okay, no problem. I'll go through again.
Yeah. Okay, let me.
Once I finish, I'll just put it in the same GitHub repo.
So somewhere I can access that. Is there any link?
Oh, I will show you. I mean, this is every time I put it in this, I will show you so if you go to Shiva's page, I usually whenever either I put it immediately or so if you go to this link.
Actually, we can't see it. I don't know. It's kind of like cut off.
So
Okay,
the
but
link, the link I'm giving you, if you go here, you will see the M5 competition EDA. So I will typically have an explanation of what is going on. So I have put this IPython notebook there. So at the end of every session, either the same day or the next day morning, I'll generate for it. So whatever. So right now, I think it's already clear. I probably put it. There's nothing. Add the date. Typically, add the date. So if I want, this is why I want to add what we plan to do so that we don't start arguing, discussing about it. So next steps I will add and I'll just upload this. So yeah, this is where you will add. So, Harish, did you get it?
Yeah.
okay, guys. So anyway, see you next week then. Okay then. Bye everyone.